They are young, ordinary Christians courageously standing up for God's truth despite incredible opposition. Activists like Lila Rose, who as a teenager started becoming a major force within the pro-life movement, shooting undercover videos at abortion clinics, exposing illegal practices and triggering investigations. The Kuntz, Texas cheerleaders, high school students fighting an atheist group for the right to keep Bible verses on banners at their football games. And the Benham brothers, who lost their cable reality show Flip It Forward because of their Christian views on hot-button issues like same-sex marriage and abortion. They and others make up a new wave of young Christians known for their boldness and strength. Family Research Council President Tony Perkins writes about them in his new book, No Fear: Real Stories of a Courageous New Generation Standing for Truth.
It's a powerful book, and the author, Tony Perkins, head of the Family Research Council, is joining us now. Tony, thanks for being with us on the 700 Club. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Pat. Great to be with you.
You've got some tremendous stories. Tell us some of the examples that stand out to you of those who have taken a stand for Christ.
Well, you've highlighted some of them, and I would mention Lila Rose, because with Lila, what we're seeing unfold right now with the Center for Medical Progress about to take down Planned Parenthood and the federal funding that they get really started with Lila when she began these undercover operations a number of years ago as a freshman at UCLA in Los Angeles. So what is encouraging about this, as I saw these stories, Pat, is that you have these young people who were unyielding in their faith for Jesus Christ. And we tell their stories, not just the apex of the event, but kind of go back in their lives as they came to know the Lord, as their parents mentored them, whether it might have been a pastor that had an influence in their life. And they come to this point where they have to wrestle with standing for their faith. And that's why the book, the title is No Fears, because they had to make a choice, just like all of us, whether our lives are directed by our faith in Christ or our fear of man. And they chose to have faith in Christ rather than fear in man. Oh. And it's remarkable when you look at what's happening in this new generation.
Can you give us some examples of some of the penalty they incurred, the persecution they incurred because of their faith?
Well, we have different settings. You have some in school, you have some in business, you have some like the cheerleaders who faced legal challenges. You have valedictorians like Roy Costner from South Carolina, who was told, look, you can't mention God or you can't pray, even though you're the valedictorian. And he had to wrestle through that, and he was fearful that he might not graduate, that it might affect his going to college and being accepted at Clemson. But he wrestled through this, talking to his dad, talking to his pastor, and in the end, right there on the graduation stage, he tore up his pre-approved speech and gave the message that was on his heart, and he led the entire auditorium in the Lord's Prayer. And of course, people responded, and what's fascinating about this, Pat, is that these young people are doing what their elders, those in authority, will not, and that is standing up to these militant atheist groups and saying, you know what, I have a right to follow Jesus and tell others about him.
Have you found a lot of cowardice in America on this? I mean, go ahead, tell us about it.
Well, I have. We have Christians who are fearful of man. And what started this whole thing was a Bible study I did a number of years ago on the words no fear or fear not. And as I looked at all of those in almost every case, Pat, when you look at that, God is telling ordinary people, have no fear. And on the backside of that, he does extraordinary things for those who choose to trust him. And here's what we have. We have to choose between faith and fear. Faith says advance, fear says retreat. You can't do both. And what is encouraging to me is I see in these young people, mostly millennials, that they're choosing to express their faith in God and not shrink back. And what's been the problem in the church is that instead of taking the message that Jesus said, take up your cross and follow me, we've said, take up your picnic basket and let's go for a walk. It's time that the church challenge these young people. They're waiting for that challenge.
Well, they're encouraging, and you're encouraging us in this. How do you get your book? Is it out now? The No Fear is available?
It's in bookstores all across America. You can get it online as well. You can go to TonyPerkins.com and find out as well how to get it. But it's a great read for young people. Each chapter has a biblical figure as well. So we lay a biblical foundation for taking the stand. We don't want libertarianism or radicalism. We want people to stand for Christ.
Tony, this would be a great gift, I think, at this time of year for parents to give their children as they're starting school, wherever they are. No Fear. So thanks so much for being with us. God bless you.
Thank you, Pat.